Hello and welcome to the next part of Christmas Otome. Last time, Maya and Garret actually got together. So yeah, exciting lovely-dovely times are ahead. Probably, hopefully. I have a feeling that something's still gonna happen, though. Games like these always have some sort of big final conflict before the game actually ends then, so yeah. Let's go to the hospital then. I was about to return to the pediatric department after finishing an errand where I noticed Garret at the hospital reception. For a moment I thought he was there to visit me, but the frazzled look changed my mind. I made my way over to him with mounting worry. Garret, what's wrong? My dad. I got a call from the cops that he was attacked and brought here. What? Is he okay? I don't know. No one's telling me anything. His desperate look had my heart turning over. Let me see if I can help. Please. It took some doing, but eventually we were told that Garret's dad was in the clinic with minor injuries. Can I see him? He's with Dr. Schipper, so I wouldn't recommend it, but that's more because I wouldn't recommend anyone interacting with that guy. So there's nothing stopping him from seeing his father apart from Dr. Schipper's attitude? Yep, they're in clinic room 2. Come on, Maya. I said a hasty thanks to the nurse and followed Garret. He stopped just outside the room door, his hands clenching and unclenching at his sides. You okay? You don't have to go in if it's too much. It's not that. It's my fault. They went after him to get to me. They? Those kids from the gang? He nodded stiffly. Seriously? That's low. Not exactly earning my sympathies. If they're willing to go after my dad for me leaving them, who knows what else they're willing to do. If I was there, I could have prevented them from falling so far. Could have prevented them from getting hurt. I don't think you are in any way to blame for this. In no way. I could understand where he was coming from, but I still didn't agree with it. If he had stayed with the gang, we would never have met. That thought made my heart clench. But this wasn't about me. I pushed my thoughts aside to reassure him. Or it might not have made a difference. You're not responsible for their actions. You shouldn't have to put your life on hold. You made the decision you saw as best for yourself. I reached out hesitantly and took his hand in mine. Personally, I am glad you did. He squeezed my hand back before speaking in a low voice. I'm glad I did too, but when I heard that he was attacked, I expected the worst. No, the thought of it. He cut himself up with a sharp indrawn breath. I used my free hand to cup his cheek and draw his gaze back towards me. Hey, it's okay. He's okay. He's right behind this door with the best doctor this hospital has. His eyes fell shut at my words, and he seemed to calm down a bit, leaning into my touch. We remained like that for a long while before he straightened, and the hand holding his face fell away. We should go in. The way he tightened his grip on my other hand made it clear that he didn't misspeak when he said we. I felt a rush of warmth at the knowledge that he wanted me to be there to support him. 2 pairs of eyes took us in as we entered the clinic room, both widening in surprise as they landed on our joined hands. It was only at that moment that I fully realized I was meeting my boyfriend's father. I've been so caught up in making sure Garret was okay that I hadn't thought about what accompanying him would mean. Wasn't this a really big step? I don't know. My mind was spinning in a hundred directions when Garret suddenly spoke up. You okay, old man? Even though the man sitting on the examination table looked fine, there was still a thread of worry in Garret's voice. You think a couple of punks can take me down? Pretty sure you've let yourself go with old age. Wanna come in here and say that to my face, boy? Garret shook his head, grinning at his father's teasing words. I wasn't sure what to make of this father-son relationship. Anyway, you're gonna introduce us? He was staring intently at her intertwined fingers. At his cue, Garret led me closer to his father. Dad, this is Maya, my girlfriend. Maya, this is my dad. I ignored Dr. Shipper's amused expression as I reached out to shake Garret's dad's hand. It's nice to meet you, sir. Garret's dad shook my hand absent-mindedly while cocking his head to the side. I didn't realize my son was that quick to pick up a nurse while his own father's bedridden. Who's bedridden? Why is that the part you're protesting about? That's not... I'm pretty sure this boy of mine never had such skills. Was I so out of touch that my son turned into a player? Or, hey dog, are you sure I'm okay? I'm not hallucinating, right? That she's real. And a nurse? I volunteer here. So you met? At my workplace. You're working at a hospital too? Since when do hospitals give out such nice food? If only we could get Joseph head chef to work for us, alas. I threw Dr. Shipper a look. Why was he butting in? Well, at least he's just commentating. Joseph's, isn't that the name of that exclusive fancy restaurant? It's been rebranded to be more family-oriented and affordable. Wait, that's not the point. Garret and I both worked there part-time. Garret's dad nodded slowly. I see. So you're working part-time and volunteering at a hospital while... Is he asking about my background? I'm in my last year studying computer science at the local university. The one that's close to an affiliated with Aurist? Whatever. Academy? Not university? Yes? Garret's dad turned to his son with a strange look. Son, aren't you betting above your average here? Garret just shrugged. She's cute. I could only stare at him as my face heated up. That's your response? What kind of impression are you trying to give your father? Dr. Shipper's Cheshire grin as he watched on didn't have to put me at ease. But it did remind me of where we were. Dr. Shipper, is Mr. Carver clear to leave? Garret and his dad were also interested in the answer to that. Dr. Shipper shrugged. If he has to, I was actually enjoying the show. In fact, he can stay as long as he wants. I shook my head at Dr. Shipper's innocent act. Poor boy. They weren't kidding when they said you took any excuse to put off clinic duty, huh? Well, if I've got to get back to my duty, then you should as well, Nurse Cosgrove. He had a point. I might be a volunteer, but I was still technically on duty. I reluctantly pulled my hand out of Garret's and patted his arm. Okay, you should be able to head to the front desk to fill out the paperwork and sign out. I'll see you later, alright? Once I saw Garret nod in response to my words, I turned to his father. I hope you have a speedy recovery, Mr. Carver. Then I left and made sure to inform the nurse on duty at the clinic that Dr. Shipper was ready for his next patient, before heading back to the pediatric unit. Oh, Garret paused. I was still a little unsure when we reached home. It was fine and I was happy. I was, but a sudden change in his attitude had me worried. Was it too much to hope that it would stick? He'd been listless and disinterested for so long, ever since Mom left. I forced my fists to unclench. Those thoughts wouldn't help now. Dad looked around the living room like he was seeing it for the first time. A lot has changed, hasn't it? I tensed up but tried to reply nonchalantly. Yes, it has. My voice still broke and I cursed myself for it. He looked me in the eyes with a kind of determination I hadn't seen for years. Things will be better from now on. I wanted to believe him, but I was afraid to. I wasn't sure I could handle the disappointment if he went back to the way he was. He gave me a self-deprecating smile. You don't believe me, do you? I couldn't lie to him. I don't blame you. I haven't exactly been the best father, have I? Dad, no. That's not... You were hurt. Don't make excuses for me. I'm not. You never hurt me or abandoned me. He shook his head. I might not have abandoned you, but I wasn't there. Not in the ways I should have been. This thing today, those kids, that's the crowd you used to hang with, isn't it? I tensed even further. My hand clenching into fists at my sides. So I was right, it was them. Who else would go after my dad in broad daylight? I had never been ashamed of my past with the gang before, but now... I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? The soft concern on his face was worse than if he had been angry. They attacked you because the angry are left. He shook his head. Don't be sorry for that. You're trying to turn your life around. Besides, I told you those punks could never harm me. Dad, have you looked at yourself? So, I'm a little rusty. They're superficial injuries, I tell you. Looks worse than they are. I give him a considering look before throwing a jab at him. Oh, hey! Uh-huh. Anything would hurt if you jabbed it. Have you looked at yourself? I have no clue what you've been eating to have sprung up like that. He rubbed at the spot where I jabbed him, and I felt a twinge of guilt. That probably hurt more than anything those little ruffians managed to throw. Then he grinned at me and I found myself smiling back. I'm glad to see you've kept up with your training. It makes things easier. Things? What things? He looked off to the side for a long enough moment that I was beginning to think I wouldn't get an answer. I want to reopen the dojo. I was floored. The dojo. He'd always blamed it for Mom leaving, that if I had just shut it down and gotten a proper job, she would have stayed. Dad never blamed her, of course. He'd always believed that she was too good for him in the first place. That she'd settled for him. So how could he begrudge her a chance at a better life with someone more suited? After she left, he no longer had passion for anything. He just continued going through the motions until one day he closed it down. I'd always wanted to continue his legacy and take over the dojo, but after everything that happened, it seemed like a pipe dream. You sure? He nodded. He nodded. Don't get me wrong, it'll be a lot of work. We need to rebuild not just a place, but a reputation. I'm gonna need you to pitch in a lot too while I get back in shape, so I understand if we didn't. No, I want nothing more. Some of my happiest memories were training with my father in the dojo. He'd been so full of life. If we could beg even a portion of that happiness, then it would be worth it. You sure? You might have to give up that part-time job of yours to help. Not immediately. Those food benefits are amazing. But when things get busier... I smiled as I agreed. For the first time in years, I felt hope that things We're finally going to turn around. I ignored the flicker of negativity telling me that things were going too well to last. Don't put it into words. Maya's face flashed through my mind. No, I should be happy with how things turned out. Things are finally looking up. She's not the same. The same as what? The same as what? If it's okay, can I keep the book for a little while longer? Sure, there's no hurry. Thanks, I hadn't had much time to read it recently. Because of working with your dad? Yeah, it's rewarding work, but trying to get everything up and running in a short space of time is really time-consuming. Well, if you need my help... Not that I had many skills that would be helpful, but if there was something I could do, I would do it in a heartbeat. He reached out and gently tipped my head to face his with a finger beneath my chin. I appreciate it, but we've got it covered. Don's helping with the money. He calls it an investment. And for the physical work, Dad and I can handle it. But we've got some assistance for now. This amused smile told me that there was more to it than that. Assistance? Yep. In fact, he glanced behind me. God, bro! Here they come now. I turned around to see the ex-gang kids walking towards us. They should be very grateful. Eh? My rally must have been obvious because Garret was pulling me back against him in a reassuring hold. Relax, they know where they went wrong now. You're sure? Oh, I am. When my dad wants you to learn a lesson, you learn it. I felt more than hurt his laughter. It reminded me to never get on his bad side. I'd almost forgotten about the teens getting closer until one of them cleared their throat. Then I was reluctantly pulling myself out of Garret's arms. Better not to subject him to unnecessary PDA. Miss Weir, that is... Garret moved closer to them with a menacing expression. We have something to say to you. He pushed the head of one of the stammering teens down into a bow. You didn't hesitate to do it, so why are you hesitating to apologize? The boy pushed Garret's hand off, but then nodded and dipped into a bow on his own. Sorry for troubling you. The other teams followed suit. I glanced up at Garret, feeling a little awkward at this show. I mean, it was nice that they were apologizing, but to have all of them bowing to me in the middle of a park... It's okay, please get up. You're too soft. You should make them grovel a bit more to make sure the lesson sticks. Garret grumbled as the kid hastily straightened. I'm sure they've learned their lesson. We have, between Gar and his old man. We won't be led astray again. More than the teen's earnestness, it was Garret's fond and proud gaze that melted my heart. If there's anything you need help with, just let us know. Yeah, we've been honored to help out a bro's girl. Garret crossed back to my side to pull me into a side hug. Hey, if she needs help with anything, I should be the first one she goes to, not you brats. True. Well, if she needs help with you then... I found myself giggling at the cheek of that kid. Garret looked down at me tenderly. I told you they were good. Yeah, you did. I leaned against his chest and rubbed my arms around his waist. But from them all, you're still the best. Huh? Two choices, it seems. Dreamscape will be there tomorrow too, so I guess I'll just do the home investigation thing. I glanced at my vibrating phone, only to immediately accept when I noticed it was a call from Garret. Hey. Hey, you busy? Nope, not at all. I hastily logged out of my session. You need something? No, I just want to disturb... I just don't want to disturb you if you got something else going on. I relocated from my desk to the bed to get more comfortable. Well, then you're in luck. What's up? I was just thinking about you. The fluttery sensation his words caused had my lips tonguing up into a smile. Oh, good thing. Good things, I hope. He let out a soft laugh. Of course. So good, in fact, that I couldn't resist calling you, even though it's pretty late. I glanced at the time. Lucky for you, I'm a bit of a night owl. Oh? Yep, I'm most productive in the dark hours of the night, when everything is quiet and there are less obligations. I think I'm starting to like the night too. Really? Yep, the day is great for exercising, but the night is calmer and... There was something almost teasing about the way he paused. And? When we're together at night, I get to walk you home. Something inside me softened at that admission. I liked that part of the night too. Some nights I find myself wishing you had lived further away, so we could be together even longer. Well, we can always take a more serenic route. Yeah? Yeah, I would like to spend more time with you too, although please keep in mind that I don't have your stamina, so... should we do something about that? I've seen the way you trained on, and I gotta say, I'm not up for that. A low laugh rumbled out of him. I go easy on you. I think your easy setting is still higher than my difficult one. Then, should I carry you if you get tired instead? That? I found that I liked the idea of him carrying me, but, well... I think I would be too embarrassed to have that happen in public. Then, how about... We continued this light-hearted conversation late into the night. I never really understood why the night was considered so romantic before. But now, with the lights low, other sounds muted, and the sound of his baritone voice practically in my ear, I finally got it. Good for you. Park? I still don't want to accidentally do the others. Like, Mick here. I was on my way home after a shift at Joseph's when I noticed Mick angrily stomping out the arcade when cursing under his breath. Hey Mick, what's up? Hackers. Hackers? Yes, hackers. They hacked all the games in the arcade and put up crazy high scores. I blinked in surprise. Why would hackers care about a small arcade like this? How would I know? I'm not a hacker. Maybe they're being trolls or trying to get their names out there. I probably shouldn't mention that hacking is one of my specialties. Still, now I was intrigued. A small arcade like this though seems a bit... You don't believe me? Come see for yourself. They topped every game and used the same name for all of them. Having said that, he turned and walked back to the arcade and I followed, wondering about these mysterious hackers. Mick pointed at one of the screens displaying the high scores. See? No human can get a score like that. I looked at the leaderboard he was pointing at and had to resist the urge to laugh nervously. That score and name, is it your ship name with Garret? The G plus M and the leaderboard stared at me accusingly. What kind of group is G plus M anyway? You think it stands for something? Maybe. I certainly wasn't going to admit the truth when he was this worked up. In fact, I was thinking of leaving before he could catch on to me knowing something. I've never been a good liar, after all. It's probably something like gangs and mafia, or guns and mafia? Guns or machine guns? What's up with this guy's imagination? There are a bit few guns in there. Look, Nick, I need to get going. It was nice chatting to you. He nodded absent-mindedly as he continued to think what G plus M could mean, and I was all too happy to escape, even if it was unlikely he would ever find out the truth. Well, alrighty. Now, this must be the 4th dreamscape? Something with Dawn again, eh? My poor voice. Why didn't you tell me they were causing trouble earlier? I didn't want to cause trouble for you. You have enough on your plate. I didn't even want to tell you now. Wouldn't have if you didn't already know something was up. So, they're angry because of my actions. I should be the one to fix it. Once I would have blamed you too, but these same kids were happy with this. Not even a month ago. That just reeks of something wrong. I'm not so sure about that. Some of the things they were saying didn't sound like them. There might be some manipulation going on. I'll talk to them. They won't trust you. I know, but I'm the one who created this mess. I supported you. Even if you did catch me off guard, you went to turn Mr. Sterling down and came back having agreed to his terms. If we hadn't shown a united front, the gang would have fractured and ended up fighting each other. I'm grateful for that. I know you weren't looking to change things. You wanted to keep protecting them. I did, but it would have been futile. The other gangs had already been circling us after we'd proven we were no longer just a bunch of harmless kids. It was the right decision. We chose that life because there wasn't anything better. Those kids deserved the opportunity to make something more. I just can't believe they want to go back. Sometimes the possibility of a bright future is scariest because of the chance of having it snatched away. Garret's silence had Don's head snapping towards him. Do you want to go back? Sometimes. Having the younger members look up to me, the pride in being able to protect them, my physical skills being put to good use, I miss all of those things. I didn't have to worry about much besides keeping us all safe. In that way, life was so much simpler. Of course, it seems tempting when things are hard. But just because this new life is difficult and scary doesn't mean it isn't worth it. There's so much good here too, so many possibilities that I thought were close to me. I don't want to give up what I have now just for some nostalgia. Girl, I mean it. I might have had my reservations at the start, but I'm with you now. Ever my dutiful lieutenant. Garret snorted. The dutiful lieutenant that would kick your ass if you thought you were making the wrong decision. Don grinned at him. Well, who wants to be surrounded by yes men? Sometimes a kick to the head is just what a commander needs to be kept on the right path. Garret moved towards him with a smirk. That was not an invitation to kick me in the head. Run faster then. With that, Don ran faster than I'd ever seen him run before. Oh, the next one is already also unlocked? Let's see. I think that should be then the last one. Alrighty, let's go to Joseph's. Even though Maya's already taken, you can't just always avoid Mick like this. I glanced over when the door opened to see Mick making his way over to the usual table. I went over with a big smile. Hey Mick, what would you like? The usual. No wait, make it 2 cups of coffee. 2? That's a lot of caffeine. I need a pick-me-up. I was up all night studying the textbooks and now I can't see straight. You sure what you need isn't sleep? Sleep... I'll sleep later. When I finally understand what the heck the chapters I'm going over are supposed to mean. Wouldn't you understand better after sleeping? You might have a point. He laid his head on his hands. Wait, I didn't mean sleep here. Not sleeping. I'm pretty sure I passed the point of no return on that. Just resting my eyes. I'll be fine when you bring the coffee. I should probably say something sensible here, but I guess I can see where he's coming from. Been there, done that. I'll just buy the Kippy doll. I know that you can get a bad ending by not doing the last dreamscape. Yeah, it would be nice to show both. So I think I'm just going to ignore it for now. Yeah, I will ignore it. So we can show the bad end first. And then the happy end. To feel better. Though I wonder if it's like a requisite. Because I notice a clear lack of events. I let out a frustrated breath as I made my way downstairs. I spent the last couple hours digging into the kidnapping incident some more, but I just kept running into dead ends. The worst part was that I could have sworn I was close. I could practically taste it. In the end, I had to take a break, or I might have found myself slamming my head into the keyboard at the next failure. And I like both my head and laptop too much to risk that. Hello, Emma. I walked into the kitchen, thinking a snack might do me some good, only to take a step back when Emma bounded over to me. What voice did I give Emma again? Maya, there you are. Yes, I didn't go anywhere. Do you want to? Wait, go where? She shoved the book into my hands. You can take your pick of any of these. I automatically started leafing through the book to see that it was full of coupons for activities. Why are you giving this to me? I won a prize, but these are only valid for today, and I already have plans with a certain someone. Still, I wouldn't want them to go to waste, so they're all yours now. Thanks, bye. She was already out the door before I could protest or try to give them back. Well, I guess this is as good as a way to distract myself. I flipped through the book, noting the more interesting activities, and that most of them were actually valid for more than one person. I couldn't help but think of... I mean, like... It would probably also nice to go with Siri since we haven't seen her in a while, but... This is an Otome game. I wonder if Garret is free to join me on one of these things. We could turn it into a proper date. With that in mind, I looked through the coupons with a specific eye for date activities. A movie, perhaps? It's a pretty standard date activity. Plus, I had to admit I wanted to see him enjoy a more sedate activity. There was no way I could keep up with him on his usual athletic-inclined hobbies. I pulled out the coupons for movie tickets so I could read the terms better. It's for an action flick, so he will probably enjoy it more than a corny romance or cliché horror. I already made up my mind before I remembered that I still needed to ask him if he was free. Seems he is. He was jogging when I called, but readily agreed, so it wasn't long before we were meeting outside the cinema. Hey. Hey, glad you could make it. I'm glad you invited me. So what movie did you want to watch? Oh, I've got tickets to see that one. I pointed at the movie poster. But we can see something else if we want to, or do something else. I'd gotten more nervous about my choice the more I thought of it. I didn't want to force him to do something he wouldn't enjoy just because I had coupons for it. The coupons may have been what gave me the initial idea, but they were hardly the reason I wanted to go on a date with him, and you have more than enough money thanks to me working. I glanced up at the face and then away. Nope, that wasn't the reason at all. That's fine. That seems interesting enough. We still got some time before it starts, though. Yeah, I thought the lines would be longer. And I was a little too excited to see you. Want popcorn and drinks? On me, since you got the tickets. The tickets were free, Garret. That's the principle. Well, if it's about principle, it'd be more fair if we split the costs. Nah, I would have larger portions, so... I showed him an unimpressed look. What? You can't seriously argue with that. Look at me versus you. If size was an indicator of how much we ate, something went wrong when Emma was created. Emma who? Emma C? The head chef at Joseph's? We lived together. You've met her before at work? I was sure you were talking about a different person. She's tiny. Exactly. And she can eat so much. My cousin tried to trick me into thinking it was because she was depressed, but nope, that's a normal intake. Why would your cousin try to convince you of that? It's a long story. Let's just leave it at that. Right, so, snacks? Only if you allow me to share in the bill. Would it be too cliché to use the guys should pay line? Yep. You're surprisingly stubborn. I mean, like... Come on, dude. She's rich right now. He sounded pleased as he said it. Yep, does that mean I win? Yeah. His soft utterance left me feeling inappropriately happy as we headed to the snack counter together. I scanned the board for the large combo deals. Oh, I love those combo deals. A shit ton of popcorn just. Always getting that one. Oh, that's cute. Garret shot me an inquisitive look. Which one? The Kippy one. It even comes with a Kippy keyring. Then, let's get that set. Oh, but there are two types. Santa and a reindeer Kippy. They're both so cute, it's hard to choose. I was trying to decide between the two when we reached the counter. We'll take two of the Kippy combos. One with the Santa Kippy and one with the reindeer Kippy. That's also a way to do it. Wait, Garret, that's a lot of popcorn. The amount of popcorn doesn't matter. It's always gone at the end. It's fine, I'll eat what you can't. And the drinks? That too. The promotional Kippy cups are reusable, so I can take them home to finish them off if you can't. Then I'll wash them and return it to you. It sounded reasonable enough. Alright, we'll take both of them then. As we picked up the combo set, I took the Santa Kippy keyring and offered it to Garret. Here, you keep this one. I thought you wanted it. We did say we were splitting. The payment, not the keyrings. Plus, this way we'll match. Garret looked like he was thinking of protesting again. Then he took the keyring I held out and attached it to his keys. I feel like I'm being force-fed dog food. What? Garret and I shot confused looks at the guy that had butted in. He was glaring daggers at both of us. Crap, are we holding up the line? I apologized to the guy before nudging Garret so we could head out to see the movie. Thankfully, we had spent enough time getting the snacks and we didn't have to wait too long before for the movie to start. That twist was completely unexpected. I can't believe the flashbacks were actually flashed forwards to a second war. Still, I'm more impressed with the combat scenes themselves. They looked so deadly, it's hard to believe they were only acting. I wonder if the actors get bruises doing those sort of scenes. They're usually choreographed to look impressive while not being all that dangerous, or have stuntmen take over for the really dangerous parts. Still, this one has me questioning even that. The futuristic weapons look like things that would actually work too, unlike some movies where you think about it for a little bit and it doesn't make sense anymore. I like the way the fighting styles were modified to fit those weapons too. That's often overlooked. Honestly, with a story that good and such great visuals, I'm surprised the theater wasn't more full. It does deserve more ticket sales, but I'm kinda glad it was so empty. Made it feel like we were in our own little world. I looked up at him, feeling oddly shy at his words. I like that part too. I twined my free hand with his and smiled when he squeezed mine in turn. You know, I used to think going to the cinema was a waste of time, but now I'll love to do this again sometime. I'll get the tickets next time. I laughed softly at him. Only if I can pay for the food. We're having a big lack of events again, which makes me nervous. But alright, my throat is a bit hurting, so guess I'll just leave it at this for now. I will try to further avoid the last dreamscape, and yeah, then we'll see how the bad end will go, I guess. So yeah, until next time, goodbye.